Here we are in section 7-3, exercises 16 through 18. Here it says, these are word problems. The formula for calculating the velocity in miles per hour of a vehicle from its length of its skid marks is approximately v equals the square root of 22.5d. Oh, look at that. Number one, they gave us the formula for this problem. That's great. Number two is it has a radical, which is why it's in this section. So if the distance of the skid mark is 53 feet, that's saying d equals 53. How fast was the car moving? What is its velocity? So using this formula, they gave us d. We're going to stick it in right there and solve for v. So v equals 22.5 times 53 and then square root it. I'm guessing it's not really something we can simplify there. So let's go ahead and pull out our handy dandy calculator and punch that in. The square root of 22.5 times 53. And what do we end up with? Oh, so it's going to equal 34.5. What was that? 34.53. And this is, it looks like in miles per hour. So we better write that out. Miles per hour. And if you wanted to round 34.5, that would be perfectly all right. All right, number 17. The formula for calculating the velocity of a vehicle. Wait a second, same formula. If the velocity of the car is 60, so this means 60 goes into the v. So we get 60, how many feet long? Ooh, 60 equals the square root of 22.5d. And why is this one any different than number 16? Notice this was just an arithmetic problem. We didn't actually have to do any solving. Whereas this one, we've got to get that d out from underneath the square root sign. So how do we solve it? Well, the square root's by itself. Let's undo the square root by squaring both sides. And we get 3,600 equals 22.5d. And that's really the whole thing is, look, we now have the d out from underneath the square root because we now know squaring both sides will get rid of a square root. So divide by 22.5. Divide by 22.5, and so the distance then that we get is going to be, punch that into the calculator. What is that? 3,600 divided by 22.5, and we get 160. So it must be 160, and oh, that came out weird. 160. Let me see. Yeah, length of its skid marks, so it must be feet, 160 feet. Okay, number 18 then. The formula for calculating the time, there's t, in seconds it takes for a pendulum to complete one swing back and forth, given its length, so there's the length right there, and here's the time. So this length is in feet, this time is in seconds. If the time it takes back to go back and forth is 7 seconds, so 7 is going in for the time. How many feet long? So we have to solve for L, which is underneath the square root sign. So let's do this one. 7 equals 2 times pi times the square root of L over 16. All right, so we have to get the square, let's get the square root by itself. Well, we've only got the one term, so let's go ahead and square both sides. Square, okay, so we get, oops, let's put the square up there. So this is 49 equals 4 times pi squared times L over 16. So this squared hit the 2, it hit the pi, and it canceled out the square root. Oh, hey, look at that. 4 divided by 16, that's a 4 right there. That simplifies. So we get 49 equals pi squared L over 4. We can do this. Times both sides by 4. And we get 49 times 4 is 196. Oops. Equals pi squared times L. And then divide by pi squared. And really that's why it's in this section, is just that we had to square both sides to get rid of that square root. So divide by pi squared. Let's pull out the calculator. 196 divided by pi squared. 196 divided by pi. Where's the pi button? There it is, pi squared. And we get 19.86 maybe. So L is going to equal 19.86, and that's in feet, right? Yep. There we have it. Good.